everybody, welcome to my stamp studio. My name is Sherry. So today is, let's see, it's July. So in July we still have bonus bucks. So make sure that when you shop, for every $50 you spend, you don't want to spend $49 and you don't want to spend $98 because for every $50 you spend, you get a $5 coupon code to use when you shop with me in August. And Stampin' will send that to you, so make sure you're holding on to all of those. And then this month we also have some new online exclusives, so I've kind of been featuring those. I'm going to use some on today's project. So for today, if you caught this video here, stacked everything on top of everything, this is my card. So once a month I get together with other demonstrator friends, and we are going through these little card sketches. So there, you can see all these templates on page 22 of the current catalog. If you don't have one of these catalogs and you don't have a demonstrator in the United States, I'd be happy to send you one. Just have to let me know. So we get together, we each make one, and then we make the other. There's 5 of us. So tomorrow when we get together, I will make their 4 of this template here. And then the card I'm going to show you today is using this template here. So I have other of theirs. I can't find one of this one. I tried to grab some. So this was the first time that we did it. And here's our little version of that first template from the catalog. So I have started a Facebook page, and over there I will put the pictures of all of them as we go. Because to back them up to go into my blog posts that match these, that's not going to happen because I very, very rarely go back and revisit a blog post. So I want you to know, if you go to my Sherry's Cards Facebook page, then you'll be able to find that album. Just go to my photos and then there's a whole album, and I've just made it for that. So for today, I'm going to do that 5th template. Here, I'm going to open it back up and show you because I have, because it's okay. It's art, right? And so it's okay if you change things a little bit. So I have this exact layout here. Except you can see how they've notched, the Stampin' Up! Artist notched the 2 ends of that. I didn't like it. It was too busy on my card. So I threw away the notched piece and I started over. Well, the other thing I did was I kept trying to find an easy way to notch something, and it wasn't working. So I also got tired of wasting paper. So on mine, you're going to see it's this template with a little bit of a twist. So don't feel like you have to go exactly right. You're just doing fun stuff. So I am using 2 of the new online exclusive stamp sets. It's really the Scenic Pumpkin Patch is what I'm using, but you can see it doesn't have any words. So I pulled the sentiment out of Changing Leaves because it was laying on my table and it fit nicely. And then I'm also using Drizzling Droplets. This is a release from maybe last time we had some. So new online exclusives come out about every 3 months. So I think this is from last time. So I'm going to use it. They're still, and online exclusives just means they're not in print. So you won't see them in a print, but they're exclusively available online. So that's what that means. So here, let me show you my card. I have Pebbled Path for my background. This card is also part of my Quick and Easy Summer series because I got lots to do this summer. So as much as I love to stamp, I need to have time for all the other things too, right? So here is this. And so you could see in the catalog that they have notched that. Mine's probably a little wider than the actual template would allow for. We have measurements. I'm not a big measurement person, which is funny because my biggest classes of year involve lots of measurements. But I wanted to be able to get more pumpkins on there. So here is, again, I shut my catalog. But if you have your catalog and you look, that's pretty much the template. And now as we've gone backwards for this, I wish I would have photographed all these to go with my pictures I'm putting online. So I'm going to do that. You can screenshot it if you want to save that. So that's what we're starting with. Then I want to show you this. Come back in August, and I'm going to do a series on how to make your own shimmer paper. So we're doing it in my card club this month. That's why I have held off showing everybody, because I'm going to do a little in-depth dive with it with my card club girls. But we used to have shimmer cardstock. You can see this is vanilla. And on the other side, I've made it shimmery. So I went ahead and did everybody's for the shoebox swap tomorrow so it would dry, because it does need a little bit of dry time. So now that we go back to this, it's all vanilla cardstock, but you can see this is one I've shimmered. This is one I've shimmered, and this is just a plain piece of vanilla. So let's do our stamping. You do need something with lines on it to kind of do this card. So I'm going to have this, and then you also just need some background paper. But if you have the grid paper, if you have the new glass mat, you can buy that now. It's in the online exclusives. It will work too. I love my glass mat. It is over where this is where I film. I have a stand-up table where I work most of the time, and that's where my glass mat is because there's not a lot of room left over here. So I'm going to use the drizzling droplets first. I'm going to grab those. I'm actually going to use it twice, but this first time I'm going to just ink it up in some Pebbled Path. This is a nice background stamp because it doesn't matter if you get everywhere. In fact, a lot of it's going to be covered up on my card. So here is this. I'm going to lay this just on top of here. Maybe down just a little bit. And then press on it. So then we have this fun little pattern here. And then I'm going to take this piece that's going to be on my background, and I'm going to just barely lay it on here and barely press. So I just want a little bit. So I just want kind of the leftovers of it, and then I want even less on the one that's going to have my sentiment. So I'm going to put it right there where I knew that kind of was, and just tap in some different areas a little bit harder. And then we have some droplets that match, but they're not super distracting from the design. So let's start with our sentiment. We'll do it first. So for my dies, I pulled these two out because they were perfect for the template. I don't know where they come from because I keep a lot of my shapes that I use all the time up on my magnet board that's just there for me to grab them from. If you want to know exactly where they came from, go down and look below the video or on my blog, and I'll have the exact place that they came from. So I have Mossy Meadow for my sentiment. I'm going to stamp it over here on the edge. And then there's a little house that comes in the stamp set. So I'm going to use Pebbled Path to be my house. There's a house and a roof. So the Scenic Pumpkin set is a scene builder, which means you get lots of pieces to build with. So I'm going to do the house and the Pebbled Path. Pebbled Path dries lighter than what it looks. It's one of those ones that starts out kind of dark. And then I'm going to do the roof and Pecan Pie. And it just has the little roof and the little chimney. And it just goes right on here. And the nice thing is it doesn't have to be perfect, because this is kind of a, not quirky, what's the word, whimsical little set. It's not more of a realistic set, because the pumpkins would be like Clifford the dog size compared to the house and the pumpkins. I mean the trees. So now I'm going to take this little grouping of trees and I'm going to just go straight along the bottom. I'm going to kind of move them up and down so they're not exactly all in the same level. And kind of give this a little bit of a barren fall look. I love fall, but I love summer more, so I'm good with it still being summer. Now I'm going to take this piece here. Remember I told you needed the grid paper. So on the design, I put my things on upside down, so they're just going to go opposite, but it doesn't matter. I just wanted some filler, and you can see that when you lay this on here, the drizzling droplets mostly get covered up. And I thought about doing a embossing folder through, but it was another piece of paper, and it really doesn't go with my Quick and Easy summer series, because you could die cut a bunch of these and throw all this stuff. I try to think, if you're going on vacation, you're going to the cabin, you're going to go to the campground, you're heading over to your grandparents for this couple of weeks, where you could just grab it and go. So you could pre-do a bunch of different shapes like this and just have them ready. So on this, I want it to go at an angle. That's why I didn't use a folder, so to say. But it felt empty on the back, so I just added those. And it needed more than the flicking of the blend, because I tried that first and it needed more than that. So I want it to go on my card like this. So, but I want my pumpkins to not be at that angle. So I'm going to lay this on here, and you can see then I have the straight lines that I can aim for. And I wanted a more soft card. So instead of any of our oranges, I went with Petal Pink, which is a pink that has an orange tinge. Now there's several sizes of pumpkins in this set. I think these are the medium. So I'm going to start right here where I can see a line. And I'm just going to stamp straight across this line right here. And that will help once I have that first line. If you don't have lined paper, just draw a line on a ruler and do that straight through the middle. Now I don't really have to match up the lines because I can just go based on that first one. And that way when I put this on the card, my pumpkins won't be tumbling down. Because I wanted the pumpkins for the background, but I wanted them to be straight. And sometimes you're like, well, I'll just stamp straight across the card. It's easier said than done when you do these optical illusion things. Because you're like, oh, I'm just going to do this straight. And the next thing you know, they're not straight. Even though you tried. You do want to fill right up to those edges. And you can see I'm trying not to stamp, so each time it's pumpkins, it goes right underneath each other. I want them to all kind of look different. This one's going to go off the edge there. And then there. And now when we put it on our card this direction, my pumpkins will be straight. And if they're off a little bit, the nice thing is you can just spin this to get it to work. So for my measurements, it went edge to edge because like I said, I wanted to see all those pretty pumpkins. Then I have, again, I want to keep it soft and subtle. So for my green tops, I went with soft seafoam. And these are fun because you just put them straight on here and you just stamp so they all look just a little bit different. They all kind of match up right there on pumpkins, but it makes all of them have a little bit different feel. It doesn't feel like you just stamped the same thing over and over and over. You really want to make sure you get those down there to finish off the card, and then up here, get those. Those are gone. That's all the stamping. It's a pretty easy card. I'm going to stick this on. You want to make sure your pumpkins are going straight. Just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this on to my little tag here. And then I have some of our Essentials twine, kind of in the gray Pebbly Path color. There is Pebbled Path twine, but it is thick, and I didn't want the thick twine. I wanted thinner. In fact, I probably would have used linen thread, although this color looks great, so now I'm kind of glad I did. But I'm out of linen thread, and every time I put an order in, I'm like, you should have ordered the linen thread. So I'm going to go around 3 times, and on that 3rd time, you can see I just put a little bit of adhesive back there to kind of grab it. Just going to do a knot. This is kind of holding that in place. And then we may need to kind of mess with it if it's covering up our words. That looks pretty good though. So kind of spread those out. And then make sure it's sticking back in here in the adhesive. Everything is stuck together, I'm grabbing everything. And then just lay this on here. And then for my embellishments, I know they're here. Here they are. I haven't used these much. These are the 2023, 2025 in color, so it has the Pebbled Path. But it also has the copper, which on this particular card, I really kind of like the copper as well. It pulls that orange in without the card being like, oh my goodness, you have an orange card. So let's use 2 of the Pebbled Path. And then 1 of the copper. I'll be really sad when these colors are gone. And there you go. So on my other one, I did, because I tried flicking the background first, it has a little bit of the flicking on it. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I didn't use Pebbled Path because I wanted it to be darker. So this is just 100, but you could use Pebbled Path. I always think the flicky kind of gives like the crunchy leaves, and you know, autumn's got all that stuff blowing around in the breeze, although it's super windy here today too. So here you go. Kind of placed them a little bit different. This one has the drizzling droplets dropping. These have them going up in the air, but it doesn't matter. It was just a nice little background. So if you are interested in any of this stuff, go to my website. I'll have all the links if you're on my email. I always try to pull 1 or 2 of the items that I use. At least I've been doing that over the summer when I have less things to talk about because I don't have any classes other than my card club. Everybody have a great day, and I'll catch you back here later. Bye.